puppy, I'm inappropriate. I like hearing stories, I like the whole script. You're such a freaky girl, I love it.
Sup, baby? So I recorded this whole video yesterday or last night, and it just was unusable footage. So oops, I did it again, or oops, I'm doing it again. Hi, how are you? My name is Nikki motherfucking New Hope, in case you didn't know, aka Daddy Issues, and you're probably here because you have some of those. And today we are talking about something that our mothers should have taught us part of, but my mother failed to teach me any of. And I'm going to be your surrogate. I don't want to be your mother, but your surrogate house mom, and tell you the remainder of, okay? We're talking about our lady bits, our lady parts, our monthly cycles, whatever. My mother, when I was growing up, I had no idea she had a period. Nobody in the house had any idea because she never said the word tampon, never said the word period, never said the word anything close. You would not hear anything referencing it coming out of her mouth or see it in her cabinets or fucking presto, magico, fucking disappearo. Don't know, but there were 5 of us, so I'm pretty sure she had the necessary equipment. But for some reason, she just was uncomfortable ever speaking to us about it. The way that we got any idea or wind of it at all was from either our friends or the book that each child in the family, me and my 4 other siblings and the 4 cousins of my aunt, my mom's twin, my aunt, when we turned 11, we got a book about our bodies, which left us with so many more questions than answers, honestly, and it was bad. But anywho, so I had to figure all of that out myself, which kind of sucks. And it sucks even worse when your mom overdoses and dies. And this isn't a sob story. I'm just saying, like, who do you ask certain shit? Couldn't ask her anyway, so she wouldn't be there very much help in that department. But when you become an SW, it becomes even more tricky. And who would have thought that it could ever be more problematic than it already fucking was, right? It becomes more problematic. So when I started out in FSSW, I eventually came to a day that I had a call and realized, hey, while I'm getting ready for this call, hey, I'm bleeding. I've got my period. And I told Roman, which was the guy that taught me how to do, he taught me very minimal, but he kind of taught me, kind of was the bumper car, the bumper rails on the, you know what I mean? He kept me from dying, and basically introduced me to it and gave me little helpful hints or whatever every now and then. But he was 45 years old white man, ranch hand, whatever. I can't say that he taught me how to do this, but he told me about a few things. Anyways, so he's like, oh yeah, just in conversation. No, yeah, you going to work today? No, I can't. I just started my period, so guess I won't be working for a week. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, do I have to you don't understand English today? Or what's the deal? Come on. And he's like, no, seriously, is that what you think? You think, I'm just asking, you honestly think that working girls and porn stars and strippers and so on and so forth, they just take a week off every single month of their whole career? And I'm like, yeah, unless the guy's into that sort of thing, but that's rather messy, don't you think? And he's like, no, dude, no, you don't. What you do is, see, he was incorrect as well. I guess it's a way of going about it, but he advised me to go to specifically CVS. I'm pretty sure that's the only place that sells them. I could be wrong. There could be more places now, but at the time, only CVS sold them, and you could only find them at certain CVS's. And he advised me to get this $38 contraceptive sponge, okay? And why this is wrong is A, because it's $38, and B, because I think it's meant, contraceptive sponge is meant for if you're going to let someone, sorry, I live in the hood, someone and you are going to have entanglement, and you're not going to make them wear a raincoat, and it's so you don't get preggers, okay? that's not the purpose that I needed this for. And I didn't need to pay $38 every single time, although I did the first about 3 days that I worked while Aunt Flo was around. That fucking bitch. Until I was like, you know, it got time for me to shell out another $40 for this teal box. I'll put a picture on the screen of what it looked like. And it just seemed like the craziest thing to do. Because then I'm thinking like, okay, I'm making this much on this call. Then there's gas, me getting ready, this sponge thing, the raincoats, you know, just adding it up. And I'm like, it's not worth it. Shit. Anyways. And so I went to searching for answers, as many of us do. Or some of us are, I guess, cool enough that we have friends that tell us this shit. I certainly didn't and haven't. And if you don't know yet still, then let me be that friend for you. I'm so happy to be that person for you. Hopefully you'll always remember me for that, at least, if for nothing else. I went searching on the internet, and like I've told you 1,000 times before, there was very minimal. I'm talking a page, 2 pages of Google search results max for any information of how to do anything as an SW. And I'm talking maybe. There were no videos. There was about 2 Amazon books, and one of them was by Amanda Brooks, and it's still useless. And I'm sorry, Amanda Brooks, but your first book, it's kind of like the Home Mentors books. It's like information that you could just kind of like guess, you know what I mean, just by using your critical, like your sensible skills, rationality skills. Anyhow, so there was very minimal information. But somehow I landed upon a forum, and I can't remember which one specifically it was, whether it was Reddit or Stripperweb or what it was, but I was somehow stumbled upon this revelation that changed my life forever. And if you're a doctor or a nurse, or you think you're a doctor or a nurse, and you really just have a passionate need in life to correct other people or tell them what they're doing is wrong or gross or unsafe or unhealthy, I'm gonna need you to take your hands away from the keyboard. Okay, I'm telling you now that you will be wasting your time if you try to go in my comments on this video and tell me anything about what I'm doing or what I'm about to say. We've been doing it for years. We don't give a fuck. You're not changing our opinion. I'm not advising you to do this. I'm just telling you how we do it. So what I learned on this forum and what I now do is go to CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart. They sell them at every drugstore possible, and go in the cosmetics aisle. And what I do is I find the applicator sponges, the triangle. They're like wedges. Sometimes they're called. They're triangles, and they're usually stuck together to form a big rectangle. And they're just like usually the brand of the store, or an off-brand or whatever, and they're made for makeup application, and I don't know what they're made out of. I mean, I can check for you if you really must know, but I'll put a picture of them right here. And yes, this is what we use when we're on our monthly, okay? So at first it was a little hit and miss because I didn't have all the tips and tricks and hacks, life hacks, ogre hacks, down that I do now. So there were a few times that a man or multiple men paid a pretty penny for a blood stain on their sheets or otherwise. And in those situations, if that does happen ever to you and you're in this situation, or what, let me rephrase that. And in those situations, remember, because I can't give advice, I can only tell you what I would do. And in those situations, what I would do every single time without fail is be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I can't play it up. They'll probably let you go home before anything, because like men and periods, like but so, you know, throughout the years I've gotten all of the hacks down for these cosmetic wedges. So what I do when Aunt Flo is visiting and I'm going to film content or cam or even just regular entanglement or go do a session or an appointment. I use 2 at a time. If you're like at the very beginning or at the very end, like, or like you're super, super light, you can use 1 at a time. But I always use 2 at a time. And I get them wet first. So you put them under the sink water, obviously, and then you wring them out, because the reason for this is that it will be more likely to absorb the other liquids that it needs to absorb, which is not the other thing, but just the blood, okay? Because remember, we're getting raincoats too. Anyways, it's more likely for it to absorb if it's already wet. It's less likely to absorb or be absorbent if it is like bone dry, and it's other things that are going to be complicated anyhow. Sorry. Sometimes I get so sick of hearing myself talk. And so that's the first hack, is taking 2, getting them wet, wringing them out. Then you can either sit on the toilet or do like the whole thing where, you know, you act like you're gonna do the tootsie roll, tootsie, like however we used to dance in 7th grade when we used to drop our ass all the way to the ground, you know, and our knees are up here. But your ass, picture your ass sitting on the ground, you know, like how I shave my badge in the shower. And then use your 2 fingers to stick it up there as far as you can. Okay? The next hack number 2, is you absolutely must use a dab of lube and put it up there as well. Not only will they think that you're into them, which is helpful, but also it will keep the raincoat from breaking if you do not put lube in there. And if y'all have entanglements, the raincoat will break 100% of the time, every single time, I promise you, no doubt about it. And then you'll be left standing there looking at each other stupid in the face, like, what do we even say to each other? There's nothing to even say. I can promise you all day and night, fucking up and down the block, that I'm clean, but like, nah, I could be lying, you could be lying, who knows what, I don't know, this is awkward. Okay? So to prevent that, I already said what to do. I'm not going to keep saying it so the robots can, you know, push me into Never Never Land where you'll never see my videos. The next part of this little fun game of hide Aunt Flo, and I swear they can't feel it. Like, my dude has no, I'm much like my mother. He has no idea when I am or when I'm not. There's no clues, there's nothing. He has no idea. So I've gotten, I can't tell you how many calls, messages, DMs I've gotten over the years. Oh my God, what do? I can't get the sponge out. I can't find it. I asked my boyfriend to help me. I asked my friend to help me. Like, girl, did you just want them to do that? Because you're not that stupid, are you? I mean, first of all, if you freak yourself out, you're going to be a lot more tense. If you stop breathing, you're not going to be able to think, okay? And so just relax, all right? Just relax. That's going to be the best thing for you. Get in the shower to do it, okay? After you take all your clothes off first, like a real shower. You're going to take a real shower, okay? Just naturally, okay? Because you probably needed one after whatever. And you're just gonna be calm about it, and you're going to get in that crouching tiger, hidden dragon position like I told you, and you're going to stick 2 fingers, maybe 3 if you need to, up there, and then just poke around until you can find it. You usually like lobster claw it and then pull it out, okay? If it got pushed way up anywhere, it's not like it can go into the great beyond, okay? It's going to be stopped by your cervix, okay? And the cervix is usually shaped like this. And so where it usually goes, if you can't feel it right away and you have to go fishing real, like, you know, deep sea fishing, it's usually shoved up on the side of one of these corners. Cervix, you'll feel it. You'll be able to feel your body, what is your body and what you can and cannot remove from your body. It's usually shoved up on the side or on this side. Poke around till you find it. You'll be able to feel something mushy that's gonna move. It's not your insides, okay? Promise. And it didn't go into the rest of you, I promise. And what I do is I make sure that I change it either before and after every client, if it was like if I was doing in and I was seeing multiple people, or every 2 to 3 hours. And then if I'm not working, I'm gonna use good old tampons that were designed by men with no women in mind. And so your introduction to how horrors don't have monthlies and don't have to take any time off. You're welcome. Please leave a like and a comment down below if you did know this information. Leave a red heart, and if you didn't know this information, leave a sad face. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. That bitch need to be ringing, okay? So that you can be the first to live the whole life. And until next time, my sweet hoes, bye-bye.